All right, the message around the locker room this week for the Buffalo Bills as they prepare for their AFC Wild Card matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars was simple: just win. As Josh Allen put it, make one more play and score one more point than your opponent. But to get a better idea as to how Buffalo can do that against a really solid Jags team that comes in riding an 8-game win streak, 7 Sports Director Matt Bovee joins me from the Sunshine State to break it all down. Hey there, Matt. My first question to you, offensively for Buffalo, how important is establishing this run against this Jacksonville team?
Yeah, Dom, I know it's something we've talked about a lot this week, but I really do think if the Bills are able to run the ball in this game, they will have a lot of success. Now, that's easier said than done. They've been great running the ball this year, but the Jags have probably the best run defense in the NFL. Now, the Bills really like to run on early downs. They like to play from ahead of the sticks. If they are able to do that tomorrow, I think they will have success. The problem is if they can't do that and the Jags are able to slow them down, then the Bills are going to really need to lean into their pass catchers, which this year have been incredibly inconsistent.
Well, you mentioned the need for the Bills to make strides in the passing game should the run game not work for this offense. Which receiver do you think they lean on a little bit more than usual?
Yeah, Dom, the Bills kind of told us who their top 3 receivers are in their final game when we did not see Khalil Shakir, Tyrell Shavers, or Brandon Cook. So somebody else is going to need to step up. And we learned earlier today that Joshua Palmer has been ruled out of this game. So to me, this is very obviously a Gabe Davis situation. All of the stars kind of align here. Gabe Davis used to play for the Jags. They cut him after 10 games. So it's a bit of a Gabe Davis revenge game. But the more important thing is that Gabe Davis has plenty of playoff experience. As a matter of fact, he has more playoff touchdowns than all of the other Bills wide receivers combined. So I think that, if the Bills are looking for a big play tomorrow, there's a good chance Gabe Davis is the one making it.
Is there an X factor or someone on this offense, Matt, not named Josh Allen or James Cook, that you think might need to come up with a really big game Sunday?
Oh, Dom, my X factor in this game unequivocally is Dalton Kincaid. When the Bills have Dalton Kincaid, they are so much better as an offense. When they do not have him, they lose more games than they win. Without Dalton Kincaid this year, the Bills are 2-3. With him, they're 10-2, which is an incredible stat when you think about it that way. Dalton Kincaid makes a difference. They need him out on the field. It was a good sign to see him be able to produce against the Jets just a couple days ago with Mitch Trubisky in a quarterback. I think Josh Allen is going to be looking to Dalton Kincaid a lot. Also, the Jags, not a great defense against the tight end, so this should be a big stage for him and for the other guys like Dawson Knox and Jackson Hawes.
All right, finally, Matt, let me get a vibe check. You're down in Jacksonville, soaking in all the scenes. How are you feeling ahead of kickoff?
I've been going back and forth all week. This game is so close. This matchup is so tight. There's things the Jags do really well that I think the Bills are going to struggle with. And then there's things that the Bills do really well that I think they could take advantage of some weaknesses on the Jags roster. Like I said, I think the run game is going to be very important. I think it's so close, but I do think the Bills have the quarterback, Josh Allen. The Jags have defensive end, Joshua Hines Allen. So I think at the end of the day, that might be a factor. Who's got the best player? And the Bills have the best player. The best player is Josh Allen. They've got plenty of playoff experience. I think sometimes that's a bit overrated, but I do think this is a situation in an area where the Bills should be able to go out and make some big plays and ultimately get a win.